After working remotely for nearly 2 years now, while also switching cities and living alongside my fiance and our pup, I wanted to share with you the 5 most important things I've learned to be true about how to bring your best self to work while working remotely. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Alexa. I'm a digital product designer who lives and works out of beautiful San Diego, California, while working for a tech company headquartered just 8 hours north in San Francisco. I love working remotely and I love traveling, which is one of the main reasons why I enjoy being a full-time remote employee so much. I appreciate the flexibility and control I have over my schedule, but with lots of variety, it's not always so easy to set up the right space to be productive. When the pandemic hit in 2020, I sat on the floor of my bedroom with my laptop for the first month, which was not a long-term solution for working. I eventually got it together and working remotely became truly enjoyable. Then I moved to cities, which required me to go through that process all over again. Now on the other side of getting my latest work from home studio together and being a fully remote employee for nearly 2 years now, I put together a list of what I believe to be the top 5 most important things to get right for working remotely. Let's get into it. The first step to make working remotely work is designing the right work from home office space. As a designer, I think about design a lot, and maybe you're a designer as well and you're like, I got this, but if you're not, that's okay too. If you're working on creating or revamping a new home office, I encourage you to give design a shot. To design is to intentionally create something to solve a problem within a set of constraints, and everyone can do it. In this scenario, you can think of the broader problem being that you need a home studio to do work at in order to be productive, and the constraints could be a budget and the walls of your selected room. In order for me to show up and do my best work, I know it starts with a clean and organized space. I like working in places which have lots of light, which wakes me up and makes me feel energized. I also like natural tones, which remind me of being out in nature. I also like to make things personal, so when I think about designing a new space, I think about how I can put more of me into it in small and special ways. But that's just like what works for me, right? This could look completely different for you. If you're not sure yet what sort of office space you want to create for yourself, you could start by searching for inspiration on Pinterest and create a Pinterest board for yourself with all of your favorite images. After you've collected enough photos, try to find the patterns in what you've saved so you can start to visualize and see what works well for your interests. In addition to that, journaling can help you get more clear and intentional about what you want for yourself. I'll share some example prompts that could help you get started. First, describe in detail the last time you felt the most energized in your work. Next, how do you want to feel when working from home? And lastly, what do you do whenever you start to feel unmotivated? Designing your space is important because you're going to be spending a lot of time here and you're going to want it to be an enjoyable and pleasant place to be so you can show up and do your best work. The next step to making working remotely work is to get the right equipment. Like I said earlier, sitting on the ground with a laptop was just not a long-term solution. And since most of us spend a lot of time at our desks, you want to get the right furniture and gear to help maximize your time. For me, some of the larger items I needed to get myself was a good, comfortable chair, a desk that I could both sit and stand at, and a monitor. And some of the smaller items I needed were a keyboard, an ergonomic mouse, and a trackpad. As a designer, getting a monitor made a huge difference in enabling me to do my work better, but for you and your job, what you need may differ. And although my desk is situated right in front of a window, the lighting is not always ideal and I am on video calls a lot. So I also got myself a powerful key light for my desk for the moments where I needed more light. Like I said earlier, having a clean and organized desk is important to me to feel productive, so I got a monitor stand, which also had a shelf built into it, along with another desk shelf to use for larger items. Besides that, I got a desk pad, which has made using my mouse way easier because my desk is very slippery. And then I also got coasters to protect my desk from water damage. Ruining your desk from rings of water from different cups and glasses is something you will only ever do once. And finally, I like to have pens, notebook paper, and post-it notes nearby at all times. Between sitting on the floor of my apartment in San Francisco to now in my San Diego studio all geared up, I can safely say I'm doing some of my best and most productive work these days. My next tip for the best remote work is create enjoyable routines. If you're working from home, that means you're living at the same place that you go to work, which means it will be important to create some separation between the two mindsets, and I think setting routines can help with that. For example, I love a good slow morning, and working remotely, you tend to get a little bit more time in the morning for yourself. To me, that means getting up early with at least an hour before I need to get to work for a walk outside, to clean up the house, to make myself some tea. Sometimes I work on my side projects in the morning. It's really an enjoyable time that I give to myself. My fiance and I have been doing intermittent fasting during the week, so sometime around like 12 o'clock, we'll coordinate getting together to cook breakfast or lunch, which has also been really enjoyable. We've got a few recipes that are now our favorites, and it's just a fun way to be able to cook in the middle of the day together. My fourth tip is to have a backup plan. With working from home, sometimes that means there are at-home distractions. Maybe it's children or a pet or the landscapers or visitors. So I found it helpful to have a few places in mind that I know I can go to and work from in case I need to get away from the house for whatever reason. For me, this is usually a cafe with good Wi-Fi and lots of seating. It could also be a co-working space or even just like an alternative room in your house, which you know you could escape to depending on where the distraction is coming from. And lastly, give yourself time. When it comes to figuring out how to make remote work for you, it just comes with experience and a little bit of trial and error. I know this could seem kind of obvious, but if you're working from home right now and something's not feeling quite right or set up to match what you need, just give yourself some more time to think about it and then just try something else. If you do that process over and over again, in time, I know it'll all work out. And that's that. Those are my 5 tips for the best remote work. I do believe setting up this foundation will in turn make a positive impact on how you show up at work. So there are going to be a lot of challenges thrown at you, but get this stuff right, I know you'll be better set up for success. The last thing I want to share is that I curate a remote-focused job board for the best opportunities in product design, UX research, content design, and design operations. So if you're on the lookout for your next remote-focused design role, I encourage you to check out my job board and subscribe to stay up to date when new roles are posted each month. On the flip side, if you're a design-led company which hires remote employees, you can submit roles to my board and I'd love to hear from you. As a reminder, my name is Alexa. If you're here at the end of the video, thank you so much for sticking around. Don't forget to give this video a like if you did enjoy it, and if you're new, I'd love for you to be a subscriber. I post multiple new videos here every month and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Hope to see you next time. Bye for now.